Good morning. This is Susan Pryor. My co-host David Perry and I are privileged to share every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. with you here on Real Estate Radio Atlanta, here on Atlanta's All News 106.7. I'm a branch manager at Silverton Mortgage, and I have a team of people to help answer all your questions when you're buying or refinancing. I always say that process can be very challenging right now. There's still a lot of underwriting things you have to deal with, and we really feel like it's through communication that we can help get you to the closing on time with a smile on your face. The only way to do that is for you to know what's going to happen every step of the way. And so our goal is to really over-communicate with you. Make sure you understand what's happening, and we'll get you to the table, and there'll be that smile. When David Perry and I launched Real Estate Radio Atlanta, our goal was to give you true information about the local market. We feel passionately that national information doesn't really help you. You need to know what's going on in your neighborhood, in your school district. I say real estate's a hyper-local thing. You really need to know what's going on in your area. We wanted to help you treat your real estate and mortgage decisions as part of an overall financial plan and give you access to the advice of the top professionals in our market. And on that front, we are honored to have top agent and new expert contributor to the show, Justin Seeby with Keller Williams in town Atlanta. Justin, thanks for being back with me.
Thank you for having me.
So let's remind the listeners a little bit about your team, how you do your business.
Sure. We've got 17 people on the team, and basically what we do is we work the in-town market, and we specialize. And that's one of the big differences between us and other real estate companies is we've taken the entire process and we've broken it down to as many levels as we possibly can. That way, one person is singularly focused on something. And when you're focused on one type of the business or one section of the business, you're able to do a much better job than the general agent that's working all the aspects of real estate.
So a listing agent, you have it broken up. How do you have it broken up?
Okay, so basically, I mean, we have, and we've even gone further since we last talked, but basically I've got an operations manager that kind of manages the entire process. I've got a marketing specialist that her job is to do just the marketing stuff. We've got a listing agent, a head listing agent now, and his job is to only work with sellers, and so the marketing's taken care of for his listings. We have professional photographers that go out there and they take the professional photos. We've got a sign guy that goes out there and puts the sign in and puts flyers out. We've got our video company that goes out there and does the professional videos. And now he's got a listing partner that helps him. Then we've got buyer's agents, and basically what they do is they just work with buyers 100% of the time. We've even taken it a step further with them since we last talked. And what they have now is a showing assistant. And so they have a showing assistant that helps them when they don't have the time to get out and show as many properties as they can. They call on her, and she meets them out there and shows them the homes. And then she does contract to close for the buyer's agents, and we have a contract to close person for the listing side.
So one of the things we talk about all the time is that this market's very competitive from a buyer's perspective. And I would think having a buyer's agent who really, really focuses on that and who has a showing assistant, I think one of the advantages would be you probably are real quick to be able to get to where look at the house if you. Absolutely.
I mean, the showing assistant gives us the ability, anytime you want to see it, if it's available to be shown and you're available, we'll get you in it. And that's really what helps with the assistant there.
Well, it's so important to get under contract quickly and to be able to move quickly. And if your agent isn't available and they have to be on their schedule, that can be really a challenge, I would think, in terms of getting the house you want under contract.
Absolutely. And this helps us, like I said, get that appointment scheduled on your schedule and go from there.
When we come back, we'll talk to Justin Seeby of Keller Williams Realty in town. Justin will tell you what's happening here in the Atlanta market. Call the show at 678-331-5600. That's 678-331-5600.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Atlanta here on All News 106.7. This is Shandy King with Silverton Mortgage, and I'll be continuing the conversation with top agent and expert contributor Justin Seeby of Keller Williams in town Atlanta. Justin, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Justin, this is a question that we always ask all agents on the show, and just see what your opinion is of the current Metro Atlanta housing market. I know that most people get a lot of information from the media, and it's a national implications, but we want to know on this show what's your opinion of the Metro Atlanta market currently?
It's interesting because I've been in the business for 16 years, and in those 16 years, it's either been a buyer's market or a seller's market, or a good time for a buyer to buy or a good time for a seller to sell. And right now, it's my opinion that it's both. And people look at me funny when I say that because how can it be both at the same time? And basically, as you look at from a buyer standpoint, I mean, interest rates are historically low. And so it's cheap to go get money now. And we know interest rates are going to go up, and the restrictions on getting loans are going to be more difficult in the future. So, you can buy a house today for a little more money than what I think they're going to be worth, beginning of next year. But the interest over the loan over the year is going to save you money. So it's a great time to buy. From the seller's standpoint, inventory is down so low that the demand has stayed the same. And so basically we're seeing appreciation. This year, 2013, was an anomaly. We saw a dramatic amount of appreciation. And so at this point we're seeing, from a listing standpoint, it's good to sell.
Well, it sounds like you have definitely have your hand on the pulse of the Atlanta market, a buyer's and a seller's market. And I completely agree with you. Never in history, since I've been in the business about 11 years, I've never seen anything like it myself. So obviously you're out and about. Would you like to give maybe some statistics from your company and let the viewers know how active you are?
We're really active in the market. This year, I think we're going to break about right around $50 million in sales, and our target goal is right at 400 closings. I think we're going to be just shy of that, but I'm trying to find one or two more. If you want to buy a house, let me know.
I'd say 400 closings. 400 closings. That's amazing, ladies and gentlemen. That is Justin's definitely a top dog in the market per se. Obviously, if you've gotten to that level of success in your career, let's tell the audience, how did you get started in the real estate business?
Well, I started back in college, and basically it was a class I took at the University of Georgia, and a teacher really turned me on into real estate. And since then, since 1994 to about 98, I worked up in Athens, and then since 97, 98, I've worked the in-town market here. And what we've done with our business and how we've become successful and grown it. We talked a little bit earlier about kind of segmenting it into different sections of the real estate process, and really it's leverage. It's leveraging out, what two can do three times what one can do. And so, the more people you add to it, the more volume you can get done, and the more work you can complete. And so, I've taken it and leveraged it out to where each of my agents specialize in a specific area, or each of my employees specialize in a specific area, and that really makes the process smooth for the buyer or the seller.
Yeah, I mean, I know we have lots of real estate agents that listen to the show as well, and they start off, you're a new real estate agent, and obviously there's some new real estate agents trying to get into the market right now, and it's in my opinion, now is if there's ever been a time in history, it's the time to have an experienced real estate agent on your team, because the market is very dynamic out there, and I don't see how anybody without experience could perform in this market.
Well, and even more so than a new agent. There are new agents coming in. There are discount brokers coming in. There's new people coming in, part-time agents coming into the market, and that's great. They're going to be looking at this last year as their historical data, and the experienced agent is going to look at years and years, and they're going to understand that 2013 is an anomaly, and we can't sustain the growth that we had in 2013. But if you're a new agent and you've been trained well, you're going to look back the last 6 months, 12 months, and that's going to be looking at 2013 year numbers. And basically, unfortunately, they're probably going to be overpricing houses because they don't have the experience to understand that even though it looks like that's the trend, that's not the historical trend. So having the experience and going out there and being able to price homes from a listing standpoint is extremely important. From the buyer side, it's not what's listed on the market today, because everybody has access to that. It's the buyer's agents that are forming relationships with real estate agents because they've worked with them year over year over year, and they've had good transactions with them. And it's what we like to call the off-market properties. And it's the buyer agent being able to go out there and find the unlisted properties and take them to our buyers before they get out to the general public. So the experience level is extremely important on all levels.
And this is information that you direct to all the people, all the agents that are on your team, to help them out in the marketplace with your buyers or your sellers.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things we focus on is just making sure that we're connected with our community and connected with the agents and connected in the real estate industry.
I want to change the subject real quick. This is on my mind. I've seen in the media, drones have been a big thing in the media. I think you know where I'm going on this one.
Yes.
And I saw where Amazon.com was going to try to deliver packages with drones right now. But I thought you're kind of the person who pioneered this technology.
I don't know if we pioneered it, but one of the things that we do is we're out there with a quadcopter, and we use a drone, and basically we video the exterior of our listings and implement that into our listing presentations and our listing videos for the sellers.
That's awesome. I bet that's a value added that most agents don't offer their customer.
Yes.
Okay, you're listening to Real Estate Radio Atlanta here on Atlanta's All News 106.7. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, you need to reach out to Justin at realestateradioatlanta.com or call the show at 678-331-5600. That's 678-331-5600. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with top agent and expert contributor Justin Seeby of Keller Williams in town Atlanta. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Atlanta here on Atlanta's All News 106.7. This is Shandy King with Silverton Mortgage, and I'm back here with top agent and expert contributor Justin Seeby of Keller Williams in town Atlanta. Welcome back, Justin.
Thank you, sir.
When we left and went to commercial break, we were talking about your drone or your quadcopter that you use for listing presentations and
Videos,
video.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, that's where we're going, video. And I know that you use that quadcopter in your business, and I also know you use a lot of video other than that in your business.
Absolutely. It's one of the things that I think sets us apart is we really have integrated video into just about every aspect of our business. If you go to our website, I think we've got 52 or so videos that we've put on there, and on a daily basis, we're contributing to that and adding to that. And if you look at it as a whole, basically we're trying to connect with our customers and our clients on a more personal level, and so interacting with them in video helps a lot, especially prior to even meeting them and going out and being able to look at their home. We're able to send them a video and show them who we are and tell them who we are. And we're also able to send them what we call a pre-listing video, which basically kind of just highlights the listing process from start to finish. One of the things that we're working on right now is we're actually building a professional listing presentation video where basically a client will come in and we'll set them down in a conference room and we'll play a video that shows them how we sell real estate. And the part of that is just because it really is, it enables us to showcase our talents at the highest level. As far as the stuff with listings and stuff, we go out, we use the drone, and basically we video the outside of the property. Some of these properties may be larger, some of them may be smaller, some of them may have great neighborhood amenities, and we'll fly the helicopter through that area, and we'll just cut a shot of it and then basically take that to our professional video company that videos the inside of the house, and they'll cut sections out and put it in that listing video.
No, well, speaking of video, we've got a few more minutes, and we're actually going to have a cameraman coming in here to film you to put you on TV here in a second. So, you are the master of video in the real estate community. Before I met you, I've seen some people experimenting with video, but now I see your face popping up everywhere talking to.
Well, we try to use it in just about every aspect of the business that we can. Communicating with our clients. It's quicker to shoot a quick video than it is to type it out. A lot of times there's emotion in a email that can be read into it that
Correct.
is not there.
Definitely.
And so we're able to get our point across with body communication.
Yeah, it gives it personal attention. Obviously, if you can't be in front of your client, but you can, they can see your face, and definitely gives a level of service and comfort to the client.
And understanding what the true meaning of the message is. And so it's real quick and it's easy, and we'll go out there and we'll video a house for somebody who's out of state, or in this market with the house is selling so quickly because of the low inventory numbers. We'll go out and video a house. If you're out of town, and video a house that comes on the market and email it to you, and then you can look at it from Chicago or wherever you're at.
Oh, that's amazing.
And decide if you want to make an offer on it.
That is amazing. Well, let's go into, let's talk about listings and sellers in this market. Obviously, we both agree that this is kind of a mixture between a seller's market and a buyer's market,
yes,
with interest rates being still low and And yes, they will be going up soon, so definitely take advantage of the low rates now. What would you say to the sellers out there that have seen some appreciation come up and they're trying to consider the dreaded for sale by owner, which from my experience of almost every transaction turns out to be a nightmare? What's your opinion of that?
Well, statistically, the for sale by owners are going to sell for about 8% less than what an average home would sell for that's listed. So right there, you're already paying more commission there than you would to a real estate professional. That's going to hold your hand throughout the process. But there's so many drastic mistakes that can be made in a transaction that can really hurt someone. If your house is worth $200,000 or $300,000 or $400,000, how is it not worth 3 or 6% more to hire an agent to really get in there and make sure you don't make a mistake? This is the biggest decision that most people are making in their entire lives. And so to fuss over 6% of it when it could be, it could ruin their retirement. It could be a drastic mistake that they make. They could buy something that needs hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of repairs that they didn't see. There's so many issues that can happen. You got to get out there and you got to hire an expert. I mean, you just shouldn't do it alone.
And definitely that's the point of this show, is to let our audience know that there are experts out in the community, and if you search out and find them, yourself would be definitely one of them to call.
Well, yeah, and our goal is to educate buyers and sellers throughout the process. We're not there to tell you what to do. We're there to educate you to make good decisions based on the information and the expertise that we carry. And so, we're really truly an asset to both buyers and sellers through the real estate process.
And sure, and moving over from sellers to buyers and talking about, people trying to do it on their own without a professional. I deal with buyers all the time who've are unrepresented trying to negotiate a contract with a seller, and it almost is always a nightmare. They have no idea what attorney to use. They often sign contracts with no contingencies and give earnest money away, and there's no way to get it back. Even if they had a home inspection and the foundation was crumbling, they'd lose their money in the transaction simply because they're naive or too lazy to search for an expert.
Well, it's silly not to use a buyer agent. First off, get a buyer agent, a buyer specialist, someone who works with buyers only. It doesn't cost you any money. The seller agreed to pay a commission to the listing agent prior to listing the property. And that commission's either the listing agent's either going to get it or the buyer's agent's going to get it. And so why would you buy a property when you're not saving any money by not having representation?
That's definitely true. I know a lot of buyers, you're first-time home buyer, you don't know what's going on in the marketplace. You're nervous about if you're going to qualify, and you're nervous, if you get a real estate agent, are you going to have to write them a check? You're short on funds as your first-time home buyer, and that is true. A lot of buyers sometimes think that they've got to pay for a real estate agent.
They don't, and there's so many mistakes that can be made with not having a buyer's agent. So go out and get one.
And Justin Seeby would be a great one to get. You're listening to Real Estate Radio Atlanta here on Atlanta's All News 106.7. When we come back, I'm going to turn the show over to co-host David Perry. David runs the best real estate closing firm in the state. You won't want to go anywhere. David will be talking to Tony Frierson of Atlanta Home and Landscape TV and Perry Bell, President and CEO of Atlanta-based Solar Energy USA. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, you have to get in touch with Justin Seeby of Keller Williams in town Atlanta. To reach him, go to Real Estate Radio Atlanta website. That's www.realestateradioatlanta.com, or call Justin at 678-331-5600. That's 678-331-5600. Buying and selling are all big decisions. You need to work with someone you can trust.
Welcome back. You're listening to Real Estate Radio Atlanta here on Atlanta's All News 106.7. This is David Perry, and I'm joined by Tony Frierson of Atlanta Home and Landscape TV. Tony, thanks for being with me.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be here.
Atlanta Home and Landscape TV. That's a lot of ideas in there. What do you do, Tony?
Well, what I'm doing is I'm producing a new real estate listing show that not only features real estate listings from Metro Atlanta, but also features informational segments, vignettes, if you will, that offers new and existing homeowners interesting information, helpful information as relates to different aspects of real estate.
So where does this show air?
Well, it's going to launch at the beginning of January. It's going to be on Comcast Channel 29 every Saturday and Sunday morning.
At what time, do you know?
Not sure yet, but I'll let you know as soon as I find out.
Okay. Where did this idea come from?
Well, I've produced a couple of real estate shows in the past, and I love real estate, and I love presenting new and existing homeowners with a colorful, vibrant, informational resource to purchase homes.
So, was this your idea?
Yes, I produced a show years ago here in Atlanta called the Atlanta Home Showcase. I also produced a show in South Bend, Indiana, of all places, called the Michiana Home Showcase.
Is that your first endeavor into TV? Was in Indiana?
No, I worked in television. I worked for Turner Broadcasting here in Atlanta many years ago. I've worked at WSB TV for some years. And so I've got quite a bit of history in television.
So your background's more in television than it is in real estate.
Well, interestingly enough, my background is more so marketing. I simply use broadcasting and television and real estate as a form to exercise my marketing expertise.
You're a good storyteller.
That's right.
So what caused you to pick real estate as the story that you wanted to tell?
Well, right now in Atlanta, there's only one existing real estate show, and I feel like I want to provide a voice to the real estate market, whether it's real estate agents, businesses, or any real estate professional. Providing them with a colorful voice that's economical on television is my goal.
So somebody thinking about selling their home, they should watch your show for a while and get some ideas about how that process works.
Absolutely. One of the things that we'll be featuring on the show is how to stage your home and so forth. So that'll be a great resource for homeowners.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Atlanta here on Atlanta's All News 106.7. This is David Perry, and when we come back, I'm going to be talking with Shandy King from Silverton Mortgage. Welcome back. You're listening to Real Estate Radio Atlanta here on Atlanta's All News 106.7. This is David Perry, and I'm joined by top loan originator Shandy King of Silverton Mortgage, and I'm pretty excited about this little segment. So, Shandy, you know it's a hot market out there.
Definitely.
And you and I like dealing with people that are borrowing money because then you get to make loans and I get to close loans.
That is true. We love people in need of financing.
But there's some cash buyers out there, some investors, who typically come in with a lower price, but because they're cash and they can close quickly and there's no financing contingency, sometimes they get a little bit more serious consideration, or sometimes the seller is willing to give up some of the sales price for a more sure close. Is that correct?
That's definitely correct. I have probably, I'd say, 15 to 20 people that are pre-approved right now. You know, these are buyers that could easily qualify for a home. However, in the price range that they're looking at, every single offer they make, some of these people have made 4 or 5 offers on properties. Every single offer that they make, they end up in a multiple offer situation where they're competing with other people, and generally one of those other people they're competing with is a cash buyer. So
Silverton's come up with a new program to make someone who's getting a loan more competitive with a cash buyer.
That's correct. Basically, we've seen this kind of crisis in the marketplace for a lot of more first-time home buyers, and we've come up with a program, Silverton Secure. Basically, what this is we're trying to help the first-time home buyer compete with a cash offer, and the way that you do that is obviously you speed up the process at which you can close. And the way we're doing that is we're going to offer where we can have a full pre-approval on credit before you get under contract. We're going to be able to actually lock a loan in before you have a binding contract. And we're going to have guaranteed appraisals completed within 48 hours. So what that means is we could, if need be, close within 7 business days on the transaction.
Unbelievable.
That is unbelievable.
So let me back up a little bit. We have been preaching ever since we started this show. Folks, go to see a reputable lender. We prefer Silverton, but go see a reputable lender.
Definitely.
And get a pre-approval letter so that the seller will take you seriously. And with this pre-approval letter, get some financial information, but it's not like going through a complete loan application and having it underwritten. You're underwriting the file before you actually...
Correct. We are basically underwriting the file before you're under contract. We're going to collect all of your financial information, the same information.
You've got the pay stubs. You've got
W-2s, tax returns, bank statements. We're analyzing all that in advance to speed the process up, and also obviously protect any earnest money that you have. You know, when you do everything up front, there's no surprises in the end. The people that wait and send their documentation later in the process.
Pre-approval letter says subject to our usual and customary underwriting conditions.
Mm-hmm.
This one, you've already satisfied those conditions.
Correct.
They know 100% they're going to get this loan.
Correct. Once you go under contract, we pull the trigger, order the appraisal, and we can have you closed in 7 days.
Wow. And everything's already done. You don't even need a financing contingency in your...
That's correct. It's huge.
That's unbelievable. You're listening to Real Estate Radio Atlanta here on Atlanta's All News 106.7. This is David Perry, and when we come back, we're going to be joined by Perry Bell, President and CEO of Atlanta-based Solar Energy USA, and Perry's going to tell us about how you can use solar energy to save some money in the coming years. You can reach the show at 678-331-5600. Welcome back. You're listening to Real Estate Radio Atlanta here on Atlanta's All News 106.7. This is David Perry, and I'm joined by Perry Bell, President and CEO of Atlanta-based Solar Energy USA. Perry, thanks for being with me.
Thanks for having me.
So, what's you're a solar energy guy, so you're like a scientist?
No, I'm not a scientist. Actually, my background's kind of diverse. I came from a musical background, an arboriculture background, a financial background. So it all came together and finally met up in the solar
Music,
industry.
horticulture, and what?
Finance.
Finance. Oh, wow. But you like technical things, obviously, because you're a solar engineer guy.
Well, really, I like small business.
Okay. So, solar energy, is it worth the investment?
Well, it is. I mean, it's kind of like you guys were talking about with real estate. If you have the money to invest into yourself, it's a great opportunity. If you don't, it's not so much. But you know, solar has a good return, usually around 15% plus annually. So if you can invest into yourself, it's a great opportunity.
So what your company does is you'd come out to my house and put a bunch of solar panels on the roof, and then you would hook it into my power system somehow, and then my power bills would go down to next to nothing. Is that the routine?
Well, I mean, that's the concept, but every house is going to be a little bit different. So if we come out to your house, you have a large house and you consume a lot of energy, the footprint will determine how much solar we can put on there. And of course, you have a budget as well, so you have to work with all of those parameters. But generally speaking, what we're trying to do is to portion off a percentage of your power, whether it be 10% to 90 or 100%, and you take that percentage and you create a solar system to support that percentage of energy. Once you purchase that energy, you'll never have to purchase that energy again.
That's pretty interesting. It still seems a little foreign to me. Is Georgia a good place to utilize solar power?
Georgia's a great place. It ranks in the top 10 states of all the states in the United States for solar. And to give you an idea, Germany has the most solar of any country in the world, and Germany's radiation absorption is similar to that of Seattle, Washington. So
I don't know what that means.
It means that Seattle usually has a lot of cloud cover, and Germany's kind of similar to that. So the whole United States is actually a pretty decent place for solar.
Okay, so the more sunny days you have, the better your area is for solar.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we're a lot better in the summer than we are in the winter because winter's more rainy here, I think, on average.
You're right. When you have cloud cover, you don't absorb as much radiation, but at the same time, your days are a little bit shorter. Your direct sun's the Earth has kind of rotated on its axis, so it's kind of a little bit. It's not a direct impact onto the panel, so it's a little bit different in the wintertime and the summertime. But you have less humidity in the air, so you have less blocking of the radiation.
Okay. So is this something that you have to do and coordinate with your power company, or you just do it and it happens?
No, you do have to coordinate with your power company. The power company has most meters today are bidirectional meters, and what that means is if for some reason there's power being overproduced at your house for any reason, it'll push back against the meter, and the power company will charge you for that. So you have to get into
They'll charge you for it, or they'll send you a check?
Well, unless you're in an agreement with them. So you do have to enter into an agreement with them to say, I've got this solar equipment on my house, and I want to enter into an agreement that if I overproduce, you guys are going to compensate me for the overproduction. So if you don't get into an agreement, you'll be charged for your overproduction. So yes, you do have to get into an agreement with the power company.
So they charge you money when they send you power, and they charge you money when you send them power.
If you don't have an agreement with them, yes.
It's big business.
Well, they just want to keep you from taking power from them.
Do they? I guess they're used to this by now. They do this on a regular basis. When you ask these questions, it's not unusual to them.
It's not. I mean, they have a division, and you just deal with that division directly. So, yes, it's pretty common.
And so I think in the summer, I have a 2,700 square foot house. It was built in the early 70s, so it's not tight. And I probably spend somewhere in the 300s for my electric bill. What type of savings will a program like, and I know you can't give me an exact one because you haven't seen the house, don't know the footprint, a lot of other variables, but just a range kind of.
Well, what you do in a situation like you want to do an analysis. And keep in mind, energy reduction is going to be less expensive than energy production. So the first thing you want to do is see how you can tighten up the house. I mean, there could be insulation, lighting, a number of different things, windows, just common home improvement things that are going to make a good impact. And then you want to measure those things. So historically, when you do improvements, people don't know really how to measure it. So if I'm going to change my windows out, people are telling me I'm going to change 30 or 40%, then you have to realize, how many you're being billed by kilowatt hours.
Right.
So you take the kilowatt hours and you look at your reduction and see what the impact truly was that you had against that. Then when you're done with all of that, then you take your solar system and you design your array to bite off as much as you can against what's left over.
So now there are government incentives, or like tax credits or energy credits that you can take advantage of. Is that right?
There are, and that's the difficult thing about creating a cookie cutter program across the country. But yeah, on the federal level, there's a 30% federal tax credit on the total cost of the system. And
so if I spend $3,000, I can get $900 back.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there are other incentives. Some different EMCs and power companies have different incentives that go along with it as well. Different states have different state incentives and whatnot. So it depends on where you are.
Does your company keep up with all that stuff?
Oh, yeah, it's our job. So, I mean, we're basically a seller and integrator. So we have to do the proposals, and it's a financial purchase. So when you're buying something financially, you have to make sure that you pay attention to, all the details as a buyer and make sure that it makes sense for you.
Now, if I don't have that much cash on hand, can you finance this?
Absolutely.
How do you do that?
Well, I mean, we use Wells Fargo generally. They operate with us, and then you can also roll it into a mortgage if you're starting from scratch.
Now, if I wanted to reach your company, how would I do that? What's the phone number? What's the website?
The phone number is 770-754-0200, and the website is solarenergy-usa.com.
Okay, so we can't tell you what the answers are. You need to call Perry and have him come out and do an analysis of your particular situation. You're listening to Real Estate Radio Atlanta here on Atlanta's All News 106.7. When we come back, we're going to have our wrap-up segment where all the guests are going to come on and we're going to talk about what we may have missed. And you can reach the show at 678-331-5600 or go online at realestateradioatlanta.com. Welcome back. You're listening to Real Estate Radio Atlanta here on Atlanta's All News 106.7. This is David Perry with Perry & Associates, primarily a real estate closing firm. And I'm joined by a loan originator, Shandy King of Silverton Mortgage, top agent and expert contributor, Justin Seeby with Keller Williams in town Atlanta, Perry Bell, president and CEO of Atlanta-based Solar Energy, and Tony, pronounce your last name, Tony? Frierson, who's got a new listing TV show that we're going to be talking about. And this segment highlights what we do on this show, which is we think you need a team of top professionals, each doing their best at their specialty for you to make the best decisions for your long-term future. So, Justin, when we were in the last segment, I was talking with Perry about solar-powered homes. Have you you're one of the top realtors in Atlanta. Have you sold very many solar-powered homes?
We have sold some. We haven't sold a lot, but we definitely have sold some.
Does it affect the price if they've got solar panels?
It certainly does, and Perry and I were talking about this. Typically, a house that has a solar power system is going to appraise for the cost of the solar power system above market value. So if it's worth $100,000 and it's a $5,000 system, then probably $105,000 is what it would appraise at. But the true value really is it's an add-on, and it's while it doesn't bring a lot of value to the table, it brings a lot of value in the decision-making process of the buyer. The buyer's going, gosh, I can get a house with solar power, or I can buy a house without solar power. So it just puts that house to the top. It's one of the things in presentation and what is available in the house that will make it sell quicker.
So, Shandy, can somebody get a rehabilitation loan and use it to put solar power on their house?
That's correct. Yes, solar power is a option. If you do a Fannie Home style renovation or a 203K, you can finance the cost of the solar power system in your mortgage. Have one mortgage payment, and that pays for obviously the home and the financing the solar power system.
And today's rates are unbelievably low.
That's correct. So you're not going to get financing cheaper than financing in with your mortgage. I assure you that.
Not cheaper than today. So even if you don't want to move, you just get a rehabilitation loan, do it on a refinance, add that extra bedroom for that new child, put the solar power on the roof, and Justin Seavey says when you sell your house, you get the money back for the solar.
Get it back and you sell it quicker.
That's
wow. Correct. So, Tony, would you put that on your new show that you're going to have, that somebody's got solar power on top of their house?
Absolutely.
Now, I was we talked about it, and I kind of understood what you were talking about, but I just didn't get a crystal clear picture. How long is this show going to be, 30 or 60 minutes? Or?
Well, we're going to start at 30 minutes and graduate to as long as it needs to be. It's going to showcase real estate agents and their listings. It's going to showcase real estate-related businesses. And in both cases, it will be the most economical resource available on television to showcase your property and your business on television.
Okay, so you're going to start in January, is that right?
That's right, and it's going to be free for realtors for the first 90 days. And also, going forward, there's no contract, so nothing to worry about there. It's just pay and play, so to speak.
So if I'm thinking about selling my house, or if I'm looking to buy a house, and I turn this show on next January, I'm going to see a series of 3 to 5 minute segments with each segment highlighting and going through a different house. Is that how that works?
Well, and it's a little bit more than that, but yes, in essence, that's true. It will be that. In addition to, we will have a loft segment that's showcasing Metro Atlanta lofts. Mm-hmm. We're going to have a luxury home segment that's showcasing beautiful luxury homes throughout Metro Atlanta. So there's going to be a little bit there for everybody. There's going to be a home interior segment. So even if you're not looking to buy a home, you can watch the show to get interesting information as it relates to modifying the home that you currently live in.
So you're not doing this for fun. You're going to get paid somehow. So what you're saying is the realtors are actually going to pay you to help them market the properties that they're trying to sell.
Well, initially, no. Initially, it's free for 90 days.
Right.
And then once they start to pay, it'll be very, very modest. I mean, almost so.
And there are no contracts? Is that?
No contracts at all.
And so, well, I mean, if they have it free for 90 days and it works and they sell these houses and they earn commissions and they're going to want to come back to you because it's going to help them get more listings.
Absolutely.
What do you think about that, Justin?
I like it already. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Thank you, Justin.
So especially that free 90-day period. Yeah. And if it works and Justin makes more money, then he can afford to pay you and you'll be successful and have a bright future. And, hey, we knew him back when.
It'll be a great listing tool for us to use, so we'll definitely sign up.
Well, the benefit of it is, I'm sorry, Shandy, the benefit of it is to, it also helps you to get listings.
Absolutely.
You know, like you're saying. I mean, everybody wants to be on TV.
We're advertising and marketing on the radio and TV.
Well, Justin's even got a helicopter. So, I mean, he'll do whatever it takes to do a better job selling your house.
Absolutely.
So, Tony, you're going to have a website for this?
Yes, you can go to ahaltv.com, and that's where we are. Or Atlanta Home and Landscape TV.com. We're there, too.
So you're going to not only highlight the house itself, but you're also going to highlight the yard and curb appeal.
That's right. That's right. You'll see pretty much all aspects of the house.
That's wonderful. Now, Justin, you said something in your first segment that really hit a chord with me, Because most people think they go to their attorney and get advice, and their attorney tells them what to do. And you said, that's not what I do as a realtor. I educate you as to what your options are, and then you decide.
Absolutely. I mean, we want to make sure that this is a comfortable process for you. And basically, if we can get you in there and educate you on how it works, and I mean, we do give you our opinion,
Right.
but we don't make you do anything. And sometimes people don't take our opinion. I have had people buy homes that I said, it's my opinion, you should not buy this home. And they have, and later it's come back to harm them. So we're going to work with you and make sure that you understand what you're doing throughout the process, and you completely get it. And we're going to be there and give you our opinion and just guide you.
Right. Now, you heard Shandy talk about this new program, Silverton Secure, that's going to. What did you think?
Love
about
it.
that?
Love it. The first time you hit the nail on the head, Shandy. The first time home buyers are struggling so much in competing with investors and cash buyers in the under $300,000 price range. And so basically, we have to educate our first time home buyers that you have to come in and either not have a financial contingency or go ahead and get your stuff done up front. But no one has ever had a program like this that I've heard of. So this is going to be incredible for our buyer's agents to use, because they can go out and they can compete just like a cash buyer. And that just will help them. And people want the first-time home buyers to get the house over the cash buyers, but the cash buyers are just so much more secure. This is going to be a huge, huge add-on to them.
Okay, so Justin, you've got this helicopter, which first time you were on the show, I thought it was a full-size helicopter with a guy hanging out, a thing like boat picks up at Lake Lanier. What I found out since is you have a model helicopter called a drone that has a camera inserted in it. But it's not a model helicopter.
It's a quadcopter. Yeah, it's a quadcopter. So it has 4 blades, and basically it's called a Phantom. And then basically we have a GoPro. You've heard of the GoPro cameras on there.
Right.
And the GoPro sits on the bottom. We're able to fly it over and do the video.
Get a
of it.
picture.
With video. We use video.
Someone's home from a different
HD
angle.
video.
That's great. You're listening to Real Estate Radio Atlanta here on Atlanta's All News 106.7. I'd like to thank all our guests for being on here today. We've had a great show. Justin Seeby, just one of the top agents in the city, and Perry Bell has taught us a lot about solar energy that I certainly didn't know. Tony, I'm excited about your new program coming on. You can reach the show at 678-331-5600.
This is Susan Pryor with Real Estate Radio Atlanta. My co-host David Perry and I are privileged to share every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. with you here on Real Estate Radio Atlanta, here on Atlanta's All News 106.7. Here at Real Estate Radio Atlanta, we believe that your real estate decisions are part of an overall financial strategy. Our goal is to bring together the best realtors, mortgage professionals, financial advisors, accountants, attorneys, solar today, and we'll be here every Saturday morning to help give you the real truth about the Atlanta housing market. We want all the professionals in your life on the same page. My team at Silverton Mortgage is available to help you navigate the buying and refinance process. We have a personal approach to lending. We assess your goals and make sure to help you obtain a safe loan with the best possible rate and payment. So reach out to Justin, Tony, Shandy, and Perry by jumping online or visiting us at realestateradioatlanta.com or call the show at 678-331-5600. That's 678-331-5600. Don't forget, next Saturday at 9 a.m., you won't want to miss Real Estate Radio Atlanta. Next week, top agents Joanne and Tom Curtin will be here to tell you what's going on in the Atlanta market. They'll be joined by Mickey Spillane, Director of Sales at Skyline Pest Solutions and Skyline Home Inspections. And they will be here next Saturday at 9 a.m. to Real Estate Radio Atlanta here on Atlanta's All News 106.7. Silverton Mortgage Specialist, NMLS 109600, is an equal housing lender and Georgia residential mortgage licensee. Susan Pryor is a branch manager for Silverton Mortgage Specialist, NMLS number 157369, and Georgia residential mortgage licensee 28766. Shandy King is a licensed loan originator, license number 220240, and Georgia mortgage licensee 25913, 3855 Shaliford Road, Suite 120, Marietta, Georgia 30062, 678-738-0516.